Hi there folks, my name's NovaWrap and welcome to the NovaWrap, your one-stop location for all your simulation release news from the week that was. Alrighty folks, we're going to get started this week by getting a bit physical. So, VR seems to be definitely the way of the world at the moment, and we've got a new title in the VR simulation world at the moment this week. We've got VR boxing workouts. So, if you want to get up off your chair and you want to be able to get some physical exercise in without actually going to the gym, you can now do that with your VR headset. So, we've got VR boxing workout has been released this week. Essentially, it is exactly what it says it is. It is a virtual reality boxing workout with a virtual punching bag and your fists of doom as you go through using your HTC Vive. So just make sure that you read the part where it says, a play area of at least, like 3 square meters, because you don't want to be punching screens or keyboards or anything like that. You don't want to be breaking your expensive hardware. Looking at this reminds me of things like, the back in the Wii Fit days, and maybe things like the Xbox Sports with the Kinect and stuff like that. But it's great to see a lot more physical requirements in gaming these days, and you know what, I kind of appreciate it for that. It's interesting, the idea that, keep fit while playing computer games. I like that idea. I've always liked the idea. I think it's such a shame the Wii Fit sort of died a death, because it was actually really cool for the years that I had one. Anyway, if this does entertain you and you do want the idea of a bit of a workout without actually having to go to the gym and go out in public, probably not a bad thing for you to look at getting. It's pretty cheap as well, less than $7 for a quick workout. Definitely a lot cheaper than a gym membership. And, having this in your library might actually, bring you to do that. So anyway, this is available now on Steam. Available now, as I said, less than $7 as part of the launch discount. Will be $8 once it comes off the discount. So available now for those of you with the HTC Vive. No word on whether or not it will support Oculus Rift into the future, but for now it is supporting the HTC Vive. Alright, moving on to other simulation titles this week. We're going to stick on the terrestrial side of things for the moment and move on to the permanent way. So the guys over at Train Simulator World have released a new add-on. So we've got the Great Western Railway Star locomotive has been added on. So the Star Class was Star Class in its later night. So the Star had two sort of series in it, the Star series and the Night series. So 20 trains in all, and you get, I think you get all 20 of them actually in this, which is pretty cool. Sorry, actually no, you get 19. Sorry, you don't get 20, you get 19 of them. So yeah, it gets the original Star Class and the follow-on Night series, which was had a bit more power in it and a little bit more carrying capacity. You get all them all produced in there, so they were great, icons of British rail throughout the 1920s, going through with the first one being introduced in 1907 and the last one being produced in the late 1920s, and they would soldier on with British rail all the way through into the late 1950s. So the very iconic elements of British rail, the British steam-driven rail. And I do believe that a character from Thomas the Tank Engine, I think it was Gordon, was actually based on one of these trains. So yeah, a little hark back to my youth there. So yeah, you do get this. It is fully available. So you get a whole heap of the trains. You get 19 of the trains that were produced. So with serial numbers 4000 all the way through to 4020, and looking pretty detailed and pretty interesting with that one as well. So you get the locomotive footprint there. Along with that, you also get composite brake third and third Colette Sunshine coaches in the shirt button livery of Great Western Rail are also included, along with an academy tutorial on how to actually drive the train, as well as 4 scenarios included for the Riviera line of the 1950s, which is actually, of course, included as part of your Train Simulator 2016 update. So this is, of course, as usual, fully compatible with QuickDrive and Steam Workshop functionality as well. So you can always find more scenarios available from the user-created base. And as I said, looking kind of impressive in terms of the Steam generation, and definitely an iconic part of British rail history. So this is available now for $20 or your regional equivalent on Steam. All right, sticking on the terra firma for the moment, and moving on to other titles. So we've got Assetto Corsa. So Assetto Corsa, of course, one of the iconic releases in the racing simulation franchises for over the last couple of years. Have released their latest piece of DLC, which is their Red Pack. So essentially, this brings a whole heap of Italian thoroughbreds to your racing tracks as well. So you get the first one you get is you get the Spielberg Red Bull Ring Circuit, which for those who like aeroplanes, of course, would know that the Red Bull Air Race is also hosted at the Spielberg Circuit, so it's not just about car racing. But for this particular simulation, you have only got cars, of course. This one gives you some iconic Italian vehicles, so Ferrari, Lamborghini, and Maserati vehicles are all included here. So you get 3 Ferraris, 3 Maseratis, and a Lamborghini Aventador in there as well. So looking pretty impressive. You've got a Ferrari F1 car, like, it just looks damn cool. It really does. And Assetto Corsa has really set some bars. And it's funny watching Assetto Corsa and Project Cars really go toe for toe with each other for like the quality of driving simulators. So yeah, very impressive. And this is definitely for those of you who are wanting, who've been feeling that your Italian thoroughbreds have been missing from your racing stable, then this is going to be a pack for you to grab. So this is available now on Steam for $10 or your regional equivalent, and of course available on the console equivalents as well if you are a console owner of Assetto Corsa. Alright, still continuing on the ground this time. So we've got another interesting one. We're switching to the road, rather than just a street, so then we're on an actual racing circuit. So the guys over at Euro Truck Simulator 2 have released yet another set of paint jobs. I kind of wish that you could actually just make your own. I know it's cool, and this is some beautiful artwork, but it's kind of cool if you could make your own. But anyway, so two more paint job packs have been released this week. So we've got the Swiss paint job pack and the Austrian paint job pack. Each one with 4 unique liveries for you to decorate your vehicle in. Looking quite impressive for those who also like aviation. The Swiss one might be of interest to you because it's also got a picture of the Swiss aerobatic team with its aircraft displayed there as well. So with their famous F5 Freedom Fighters when they were flying those. Looking pretty impressive. Again, if you want to spice up your paint jobs for your vehicles, not a bad thing. Again, they kind of cop out though with with one of the paint schemes where it's just the flag. I'm like, really, guys? Like, you've got 3 beautiful liveries, and then you've got one which is just the flag. Like, really? I've said it before, but it's kind of a cop-out. It really kind of is. Just throwing it out there. Anyway, but yes, if you do want to spice up your truck color schemes, this is available now on Steam for the grand title price of 99 US cents for each pack. Available now on Steam. Alright, moving away from the road and onto the track. Back onto the track now, but this one onto grass track. So we've got the simulator Jockey Rush. So we previewed, we looked at another sort of racing, horse racing sim, horse racing management sim in a previous NovaWrap. This one seems to basically take the rider part and sort of take out the rest of the like actual management side of it out. But this one throws in you can start beating up other jockeys while racing. Not sure how accurate that actually is, but sure, let's roll with that. Now, Mike, it is partially VR compatible. It is sort of experimentally supporting Oculus Rift support. Does have UK, US, Australian game modes. So I'm seriously thinking that this is basically just they've literally just taken the racing part out of the previous one we looked at and just dropped it into a separate game. Yeah, mixed feelings about this, but anyway, yeah, if you want the idea of actually riding a horse race and then not have to worry about following rules and actually beating up other jockeys, this might be for you. If not, yeah, I'm tempted to say probably think about staying away from this one. But as I said, if it does interest you, it is available now. Normally $20 US, but currently on a special at the moment, 30% off for $14 US if you are of any interest to you. Available now on Steam. Alrighty, moving on to more releases this week. So again, we saw another release this week. This one, the title, it's kind of a bit of a clickbait, this one. So, Ekranoplans. For those who don't know what Ekranoplans are, Ekranoplans were this brilliant, absolutely incredibly brilliant design and concept for wing and ground effect machines. For those of you who don't know what wing and ground effect machines or have never heard of Ekranoplans, I don't know what rock you've been hiding under, but basically these things are the idea of like save fuel by skimming just above the surface of the water, so you're actually still inside the ground effect. There's a whole heap of physics that go on here, but basically it's a way for boats to travel. You essentially like a hovercraft, but you fly just above the surface of the water, so you're still inside the ground effect. The idea is that you can travel quite fast, a long way, low and fairly undetectable, very efficiently. That's the idea. The idea of chronoplanes was experimental technology pioneered by the Russians, experimented by other nations as well, but never really took off. But an absolutely fascinating branch of aeronautical engineering. It really is. Anyway, the Soviets experimented with this throughout the 60s and 70s and 80s, and of course gave birth to what was known as the Caspian Sea Monster, which was when the CIA and the NSA took some photos of it. Anyway, long story short, this is basically supposed to put you in the command of a series of chronoplans and command your crew and go through on various missions for the glory of Mother Russia, and fly up to 12 different chronoplans, manage your crew systems and all this kind of stuff. It it's not finished. Basically, they've put it out and it's horrifying. If they call this a finished game, like it's horrifying. The premise is awesome. These machines are just incredibly amazing pieces of technology, but the premise is great, but the actual execution is less than desirable. Yeah, very much as I said, very much like clickbait. This one. If you do want to see a review of it, I would highly recommend heading over to Orbital Potatoes, a fellow YouTuber, Orbital Potatoes channel. Have a look at his review of it. I think he surmises it in his review very, very well. That the idea is really great. The execution is somewhat flawed. But yes, if it does interest you for whatever reason, available now, $15 or your regional equivalent, available now on Steam. Alright, that gives us a great segue to move into the flight simulation releases for this week. So not a huge amount going on in the world of flight simulation, but in terms of releases, so Aerofly FS2. So I've already given my thoughts in my extensive review videos of Aerofly FS2, and the latest release from them this week kind of like really reinforces my suspicions on this title. So Aerofly FS2, which I would like to point out is still in early access, by the way. It's not finished, it's still in early access. They've released their second piece of DLC, though their first piece of DLC is really nothing more than actually completely like adding into the completion part of the, like getting towards completing the core game, just throwing it out there. This is their first piece of paid DLC. So $10 gives you Switzerland and Swiss airports. Now, okay, fair call comparing to ESP platform and X-Plane type sims. $30, $10 for over 32 airports. And a whole heap of scenery, photo real high res images is, not a bad deal. But again, you're paying for regions, like you're paying to fly in another place other than the southeastern US. So And quite honestly, looking at the screenshots they've released, I kind of have to say that they've basically just ripped out Aerofly FS1's textures, which was, by the way, only in Switzerland, and dropped them into FS2. So yeah, it's kind of reinforcing my suspicions about Aerofly FS two. So anyway, if you are into Aerofly FS2 and you are enjoying it and you do want to have some different high-res scenery, available now, $10 or your original equivalent. Available now on Steam. But yes, as I said, for my extensive thoughts on Aerofly FS2, then yes, definitely go have a check out of my review videos of that. But there you go. Available now on Steam. Alrighty, continuing on with flight simulation releases this week. So we saw we've brought it. We've announced a few. Latin Wings. Latin Wings has been a developer that's been sort of specializing in Latin American releases for a while. They've released a few things lately, and they've released on top of their payware, they've now released a freeware title for us all to enjoy. So if you're not sure about Latin Wings and you want to experience their stuff and you want to try it out for free, this is not a bad way for you to have a look at some of their products. So this is Santa Barbara da Barinas. I'm sure I've got that completely wrong. Apologies to Latin American viewers. So this is in southwest of Venezuela and is basically an Air National Guard base, but also does, primarily handles military traffic, but also has some civilian traffic as well. Near Barinas City, and essentially in the area of Caracas. So this is looking pretty cool. As I said, it's a good way for you, if you're not sure about Latin Wings and not sure whether you want to invest in their product, this is a really good way to have a look at the quality of their product and try it out for free. I'm quite impressed by some of the screenshots that I'm seeing. Again, some of the things that we've seen as well, we've seen not only just the area of the airport, but also the actual surrounding town as well, with high resolution ground imaging as well as like over 15,000 auto-gen objects that have been like hand placed. So that's pretty cool. And you get to experience a lot of the features that you see as part of their payware releases. So I'm definitely going to recommend this one for people if you want to have something a little different to have a try out, or you don't really fly a lot in Latin America. Have a think about grabbing this one and just seeing it out, trying it out, and seeing what it's like for you to experience. So yeah, available now from the Latin Wings website. Alrighty, and rounding out the flight simulation releases for the week, we've got the guys over at Alabao have released another twin-engine aircraft for simulation pleasure. So they've released the Piper PA-44 Seminole. So this is again Alabao and their brother company Carinado always do. I always find them do quality products. Like some people sort of bag them out a little bit, but I always find that they do pretty good quality product. With a lot of time taken into the way it actually handles on the ground as well as in the air, and just a lot of visually they're always very, very good is what I find. So again, you find all the standard high quality visuals that you come to expect from Alabao are in this one. What is interesting though about this one is that one thing that Alabao and Carinado are known for is essentially they just put glass cockpits in everything. That's what they do. Even if an aircraft probably shouldn't have a glass cockpit, they just stick the glass cockpit in anyway. This time around though, they've actually listened to a lot of that community feedback, and they've actually gone through and they give you a choice. So when you're flying the PA-44, you have a choice to either fly with the Garmin 600 glass panel, or you can choose to fly it with the more traditional steam gauges, which is it's a nice thing to actually see the fact that yes, they are listening to the community to go, yeah guys, great product, but we kind of think this aircraft should be, most of them fly with steam gauges, let's have some steam gauges. So they've listened and they've actually delivered. Whether we see them go back into their back catalogue and actually update their other aircraft to include steam gauges as well, not sure. Excuse me, it would be nice if they do. And I really hope they do. But, in the meantime, we can enjoy their latest release with your option of either steam or glass cockpit. So there you go. Available now direct from Alabao or from your favourite flight sim retailer. Alright folks, well as I said, that does now round out the NovaWrap for this week. Thank you very much for joining me once again this week. As always, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed these videos and want to see more. And of course, as always, you can catch up with me and all the things I'm up to between videos by finding me on Facebook and on Twitter. Just search NovaWing24. Alright folks, thanks very much for joining me. Take care, safe skies to all, and we'll see you next time. Bye for now.